Hi, thank you for joining us. With us is Caroline Quinlan, the Customer Experience Strategy Manager at Electric Ireland. How are you doing today?
Hey Ben, thanks so much. I'm doing great, and thanks so much for speaking to me today.
It's a pleasure to have you. Why don't we dive into it? Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and your path to becoming a CX leader.
Yeah, so I work for Electric Ireland, part of ESC. So it's one of the largest energy providers in Ireland. So I'm based on the Electric Ireland side. So I'm working there as customer experience strategy manager. So I am looking at all of the touch points that our customers have with their brand across all channels. So it's a really exciting role and very diverse and very dynamic. And I love it. Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Why do you recommend somebody does their first 100 days when they're getting a role like yours?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and I think that that time is so precious and it's so important that it's used so wisely. So my best advice would be to know the business first and foremost. So who is it you're working for? What is it they do? What is their vision? What's their strategy? What's their core values? Really try and understand that part of the business because that will prove to be a really important thing to you in the future when you come to design your own DX strategies and when you try and get initiatives, buy-ins for initiatives. So if you can understand where the company wants to go, what their strategies are and their core values, you can align to that. And it just helps to really kind of get the buy-in. So I think understanding that element of the business is really important. But equally, like all the processes, the product, how everything works and fits together is super important because obviously a big part of your role will be understanding the customer and being able to map out their journey. So understanding that process side of it is really important as well. So I would definitely say understanding all those business elements and in addition to that, the people that work at the company, really getting to know the people around you because particularly in the company I'm in, it's a really large company, so there's so many layers and so many people with so many skills. So I think having time to kind of get to know those people, network with them, is really important because you'll need to leverage their skills as well as part of your work. Um, Apart from being fun, I think it's really important that we are able to utilize people around us and their knowledge. So I think that's also really important. So all of those business elements, but also then aside from that, really get to know your audience, your customers. Who are you designing experiences for? So find out as much as you can about them from what you have available to you at the time. So who are they? What products are they interacting with? How are they interacting with them? So gather as much research and data as you possibly can. Data is really important to me in my job, so I always feel like I can't do anything without it, because it just gives you a really clear picture of where those pain points are for your customers, and also where the opportunities are to improve the service that we provide and how we deliver those experiences to our customers. So I think trying to understand that side of it, the data around our customers, is super important. To know the business, know your customer. And I spend a good bit of time doing that. And then once you have that, obviously get your plan together for yourself and your department, um, that CX strategy and the operational models and the frameworks that you're going to work off of, and just be really clear on all of that and how you're going to implement that so that you can get people excited, get them bought into it, and it will make your job so much easier.
That sounds like a great first 100 days. Currently, what is your CX strategy at Electric Ireland?
Yeah, so we actually worked on this just the first half of this year and put a lot of time and energy into it. So we have got our operational model. So for us, we're working on a hybrid model at the moment. So hybrid is obviously when you've got your CX department, but you are also very much connected into the other departments, and they're very much bought into what you're doing as they're working with you. We're at the moment working our way towards an embedded model. So that will be when we don't have need for our CX department anymore, which will be a sad day, but also a great day for the company because everyone will have an ownership of that CX and a responsibility within their own teams, and we'll all be working towards that common goal. So that's kind of the operational model and the aspiration for us. And then just also working towards our CX maturity. We just assessed it earlier this year, and although we're doing really well and we're on track, there's still a massive, massive amount to go. So that we can kind of get to that leading position and get ourselves to a 5 in our CX maturity. So we're about halfway there. A lot of the things that we're working on at the moment is really leveraging data and insights from across the company. Because as I said, it's quite large. There's lots of different pockets of information. So a big part of our role is really to pull all of that together so we have a clear 360 view of the customer across all of the touch points. So that's a really key part of the strategy. And then in addition to that, it's really working around CX culture and engagement, because we're trying to prepare for that embedded model in the future. So it's really important that we kind of get people excited and engaged with various different initiatives to kind of shift that mindset and really leaning into that customer-centric, customer-first approach. So they're kind of the key elements of our strategy at the moment. Still in
Hmm.
the early days, we have a lot of work to do, but it's a really exciting project to be part of.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun, and something I want to dive a little bit deeper on. You keep mentioning data and data. You
Yeah,
gather the data in the first 100 days. You're looking at the data in your current strategy.
yeah,
How do you measure the success of your customer experience?
yeah. I think a big part for us was really benchmarking first. So it was kind of taking a look at where we are and the trends when it comes to our CSAT scores, our NPS, and our customer ease. They're kind of our three key metrics that we use to measure customer satisfaction at Electric Ireland. So we've kind of leaned into like what are the passions for those? Where were we? Where do we want to be? And kind of how are we gonna get there? Kind of map that out. So we are definitely working to those kind of key metrics with the data. We're also kind of I suppose trying to be mindful to use a mixture of qualitative and quantitative data, and trying to build stories with the data and make it as human as possible. Because I think a lot of the time there's a danger with data that we almost see the customer as a number. And I think this is something that we've been really working hard to try and shift that mindset. That it's not just a number, there's so much more behind that. So really trying to pull in kind of the emotional drivers for the customer to kind of give it a little bit more life and essence and humanity. So I think that's been important with the data as well for us.
Mhm. And do you use this data and these stories to help gain buy-in with the C-suite? You said you're integrating into the whole company, so interesting how
Yeah.
those conversations went at the top.
Yeah, so no, they're definitely like our managing director is coming from a financial background, so numbers are really important when we're trying to bring across that message and that communication. So it it's definitely a stories number when we're trying to communicate with them. So I think having clear measurements, having your benchmark beforehand, and then being able to kind of show movement in that, where you're making impact and return on investment is super important. Um, because otherwise you kind of lose the strength of your conversation. Like you have to be able to evidence the work, and I think that sometimes can be a struggle when it comes to CX. Like when you're speaking to senior stakeholders, there's there's sometimes an element of CX is a bit fluffy, So I come across that not where I am, but previously, that there's maybe a feeling that it's just a nice to have, it's not a necessity. So I've always taken that with me, and I find the biggest way to kind of make an impact is through movement numbers and being able to show movement, return on investment, and being able to link that to the customer experience. So that's something that I feel really passionately about, and it's definitely where I've been able to get the best buy-ins is where I'm able to show the evidence in terms of the numbers,
That
and
makes
we're
a lot of
looking to do
sense.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, those conversations can be hard. What are some pain points you have when you're running a department like this?
Yeah, pain points, like I said, buy-in sometimes it can be a struggle. It can take a little bit of time and a lot of preparation work before you go into those meetings. So that side of it can be difficult. I think trying to work through the organizational layers sometimes can be a challenge. There's so many different departments. We're very much a matrix organization, and there can sometimes be silos within that. So I think that getting over that barrier can be challenging sometimes. So it's important that I suppose the conversations are tailored for each person as much as possible, and just trying to engage them in a way where what you're doing is actually going to help them is really important. So I think that always helps if you can do that.
Sounds good. Do you have any examples of utilizing customer feedback to improve the company?
Yeah, sure. We've actually been doing this a lot recently. So we have loads of feedback that comes through from our customers. And we are actually at the moment, I've just rolled out an initiative across the company where we're actually taking customer feedback and using it within meeting settings.
Really?
So it's initiative called Customer at the Table. So the idea behind it is that I suppose a lot of the time, particularly on the technical aspects of our company, we design a lot of technical product, and the designers and often the architects and the product owners are very technical minded. So it's been an opportunity really to try and bring an element of customer closeness. So what we do is we take the feedback from the actual customer and bring it into the meeting, and share it with them at the start of the meeting, and kind of highlight particular pain points or motivations that the customer has. And that then changes, I suppose, the tone of the meeting and gets people in the mindset of thinking about the customer rather than the actual technical part of it or the process a little bit more, because we were, I suppose, very heavily focused on the technical and the process, and even the trainings for our partners would be positions in that way. So this has really brought a different element to it that's really helping to shift the mindset, increase that empathy and customer closeness, and that's all through bringing feedback to the table as much as possible. So we've done that, and we've also been in positions where we've used the feedback to kind of prioritize tasks a little bit better for our customers. So obviously, if it's coming up a lot in the feedback, we really have to kind of sit up and pay attention to that, and be able to address it for our customers to improve the experience. But then from the business point of view, if we make that enhancement, it's obviously going to support sales and lots of other aspects too. So yeah, I think it's crucial, the feedback, and really listening to it, and taking action on it also. Because I think sometimes we do listen to the feedback, but what's done to action that and improve it. So that's something we're really focusing on at the moment. It's not just the listening, but actually the actioning of that feedback.
I love that. It sounds like you have customer feedback ingrained in everything you do at the company, which is,
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
point of having a customer experience leader, right? I love it.
yeah.
What do you think is the future of CX?
Oh, I think it's changing every day. Like so it's such an exciting place to be right now. Because there's such a shift, and it's no longer this nice to have. It's really moved into a different place where it's now adding value massively to businesses. They're actually now able to see the measurements of CX, whereas before it wasn't really measured, I suppose, to the level it is now. So having that is amazing. And obviously we then have the arrival now, well, not the arrival, but it's been here for a while, I suppose, AI. And now I suppose an opportunity really for CX professionals to really leverage data in a different way, and get a lot more support in terms of getting results. So a lot less, I suppose, manual labor of going through and sieving through information. It's really exciting to kind of see this coming through, and it's something that electric Ireland and the EFP are really embracing, which is great. Because I know a lot of companies who are maybe a little scared of what AI can do. And often when we're afraid of something, we just kind of back away from it. So it is really nice that the company is kind of forward thinking and starting to plan and see how can we use this to really support our people and our customers. So I'm excited to see where that's going to go as well.
That sounds amazing. I just love everything about the way your organization is treating customer experience and even forward thinking. Oh, I have one last question for you before we wrap it
Yeah.
up here. What else should we know about you and how can we follow your career?
Oh, thanks. Well, there's I'm not that terribly exciting, but I suppose maybe to know that I'm absolutely obsessed with the customer. I'm always learning. I just recently finished a diploma in customer psychology, actually,
Oh,
which was amazing. So I definitely would recommend that to an ACX professional who's looking to really go deeper in understanding customer behavior. I found it hugely beneficial for me. Um, so I'm just probably best way to know about me is I'm always learning. I'm always trying to kind of absorb as much as I possibly can. I'm totally customer obsessed. And you can follow me on LinkedIn, sure. Do Caroline Quinlan on LinkedIn. So connect with me. I'm always looking to connect with fellow professionals as well, and just kind of bounce ideas and understand how CX is working in other organizations too. So please do connect there.
awesome. Sounds great. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, and thank you.